us do not have equal talents, but all of us have an opportunity to present our talent. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to tell you a story about the last leaf. It means a last hope. The story starts with the two young artists, Sue and Johnsey. Sue and Johnsey, they live in a small flat on the third story of an old building. One day what happened is, Sue, she fell seriously ill in November and she was having pneumonia. After some time, this thing was very worried about her friend Johnsey. So they decided to call for a doctor. When the doctor came, the doctor said that, Sue, your friend, she is suffering from pneumonia, which is a very serious problem. So what happened is, Sue, she sits beside her bed and feels like she is becoming more and more deteriorated in her health. So her friend Johnsey, she decided that she will divert her mind in other things, because as they both were the painters, they both were artists. So Johnsey, she gave some papers and some paint brushes to her friend Sue so that she can divert her mind. But in her mind there was only one thing, that she was sitting inside of her window and was seeing out of the window, and she always wanted to paint the pictures. She always have interest in doing different things, but after this problem she was not engaging herself in any of these things. It was happened just because there was an old ivy creeper inside. All was happened because there was an ivy creeper outside the window, and there were some leaves. Before some days there were lot of leaves on that ivy creeper, but on that day when there was heavy rainfall and winters, in the season of winters, there was only one leaf left on the ivy creeper. And Sue, she already decided that when the last leaf will fall, she will also fall asleep forever. After the Burman, there was their neighbor, which was Burman. Burman was an old painter and her lifelong dream was to paint a masterpiece. And in this story, he played a very crucial role as the role of sacrifice. What happened is, he came to take the report of the Sue, that what she is doing and how she is now, because she was not very well from the last few days. And Burman, he gave an idea to her friend or to her flatmate Johnsey that we both will do a play and we both will do something so that we can divert her mind. Whose mind? Sue's mind. Then at that night, Burman, he decided to paint a masterpiece for Sue so that she can divert her mind. So in that heavy night, her friend Johnsey, she drew the curtains and asked her friend Sue that you don't have to open the curtains, because she did this because as soon as she was seeing that leaf, an ivy creeper, her last hope was also deteriorating. So she asked her friend, you do not have to withdraw the curtains until I decided to do so. Whole night, Burman, in that heavy rainfall, he drew that masterpiece for her friend Sue. What happened is, in the early morning, when Sue, she withdrew the curtains, she saw that there were a lot of ivy creeps, because earlier there was only one ivy leaf left, but after that masterpiece, there were a lot of ivy leaves. With this, they were able to convince Sue that with last leaf, her last hope was also not deteriorated. So with this, we can see that her hope was also fulfilled, and Burman's dream of drawing a masterpiece was also fulfilled. This was all about the story, how Burman, he sacrifices, because at that night he was also having some very important work to do, but he neglected that work to save the life of Sue. The moral of this story is, you should never lose hopes, because God has always planned something for you and which will be fruitful for you. Thank you.